Atlanta fans, I need your attention. Because right now there is an injustice going on in the NBA against one of the NBA's top stars right now. Hello everyone, I'm Chris Tipmore. Welcome to Hawks Digest. But in this video, we're talking about the unjust behavior that the NBA is treating against one of its top superstars this year and in past years. Then welcome to Digest Media again, and before we get right into the video, please guys, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as it really helps everyone else out. Come on in, take off your shoes, leave your socks on, be a part of the Digest Media family, especially when it comes to these Atlanta Hawks. But I gotta talk about it. There's an injustice going on against this young man right here, Trey Young, man. The man is an all-star. He should be consecutive years all-stars, but we already know he took a year off here. Will get selected there. They'll snub him another year. The next thing you know, he's back on again. This guy needs to be a consistent all-star, okay, guys? And the injustice that I'm talking about this young man not being one of the top leading vote getters is just inexcusable for me. Absolutely far-fetched. Let me show you guys exactly what I'm looking at. Now we have here is the guards for the Eastern Conference. These are the leading vote getters. Now some may say, well, hey, Trey Young is in the top 5. Trey Young is in the top 5. What do you mean? First of all, Trey Young doesn't even have at least 1 million votes. That's already an injustice in itself. How in the world can people watch this man play and say, oh, he's all right. He's all right. That's not cool. That is not ethical. Okay? You look at this list. LaMelo Ball, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, Jalen Brunson. Now, even though I am somewhat a fan of each one of these guys individually, just because I love the game of basketball, at the end of the day, you're trying to tell me that these guys are all better than Trey Young? That's where I have a gripe. That's where that grinds my gears, you know, if you will. I just don't believe that there's no way that you can really sit here and say that these guys are better than Trey Young. I'm going to dive even deeper into it, just because LaMelo, not picking on you, but you are at the top almost with 2 million votes. Like, my goodness. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Now, you see Trey Young, he averages 22 points, 12 assists. These right here, well, the 12 assists is definitely career numbers. I understand he's only shooting 33% from the three-point line, 40% from the field, and 4.3 turnovers. At the end of the day, guys, this man right here facilitates. He has 3 games this year to where he has 20 points, 20 assists. Nobody in the NBA is doing that. And in all 3 of those games, the Atlanta Hawks won all 3 games. Normally, in the past, you would see Trey have a game like this in some sorts. And guess what the Atlanta Hawks doing? Losing. So this year is completely different. It's not all on Trey. It is a team effort. You do have guys like Dyson Daniels who's coming in with a defensive prowess, and it's trickled down all the way down to the water boy. You know, so when it comes to the Atlanta Hawks, everybody just wants to do better. Everybody. So it's a beautiful job, and I don't want to pick on him again, but I got to go to it. LaMelo Ball. Now, LaMelo Ball, he doesn't have nearly as many turnovers as Trey, but he's close, okay? Now, assists, he has 7.5. To LaMelo's credit, honestly, this guy doesn't have anybody really to pass the ball to. That's why he's averaging almost 30 a game. Shooting the same percentage just about as Trey Young with 33. Shooting a little bit better from the field goal standpoint, but he also shoots more, way more than Trey Young does. All right, this man is the leading vote getter for the Eastern Conference. I know 50% they say is a fan vote, 25% media, 25% player. I don't see where in the world anybody can put this man really over the other names. if we go back to it, and you look at these names, blow it up bigger for you guys. And if you look at these names, LaMelo Ball, to me, is not doing better than Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, or Jalen Brunson. But he definitely is not doing better than Ice Trae Young. Now, I'm looking at it, I'm like, now why in the world would these guys be treating Trae Young the way he is? Let's see. It could be having something to do with this. The standings. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who the Atlanta Hawks beat twice, they're 34-6. 2 of those losses came to the Atlanta Hawks on back-to-backs type. So they played boom, boom, and home and away, and the Atlanta Hawks took care of business at home and away. The Boston Celtics, they took care of business against Boston as well. Yes, Boston beat Atlanta this year, but of course, Atlanta got their lick back as well. The New York Knicks, the Atlanta Hawks have beaten them as well, including for a shot to go to Vegas to play in the NBA Cup in the semis. Now, they lost to the Bucks, yes, who are right behind the Knicks, actually. They lost to the Bucks, yes, and shout out to the Bucks. They was able to drag themselves out the basement and make themselves a playoff, caliber type team. They're in the 4th seed right now. And you look at these standings and you're like, okay, well, you see the Hawks that they're 21-19. You see these other teams and you like, okay, well, Jalen Brunson, you got the number 1 seed Cavs. That's why Donovan Mitchell is up there. And then Damian Lillard, okay, they brought him up there because of the Bucks. But Damian Lillard plays with Giannis, who is like one of the most dominant downhill thumpers in the NBA. Of course he's going to make it easy. Giannis would make it easy for any NBA player. You could put Giannis on any one of these top 10 teams. But something else that you guys notice on this? Is there something else that you guys notice on this? Well, just in case you didn't, the Charlotte Hornets are nowhere on this list. Nowhere on this list are the Charlotte Hornets. But yet they have a leading vote getter at the top. They have a leading vote getter at the top. So is it really about records? Is it really about records? Because you have LaMelo Ball at the top, who is a top vote getter. And you got a guy named like Trey Young, who's doing things like this. Who's becoming, who's reaching 4,000, over 4,000 career assists. Like let me just read this out to you. Trey Young has reached 4,300 in his career, talking about assists, accounting for the most assists in the NBA since Trey Young was drafted in 2018. Young has also reached 5 or more in a game in 197 consecutive contests. And that's the 3rd longest streak in the NBA. You see, John Stockton had 336 straight. He's closing in on Isaiah Thomas. Closing in on Zeke at 209. These are things that Trey Young is doing. I have something else for you. Trey Young has now extended his streak of dishing out 5 or more assists in 198 straight games. The 3rd longest streak in NBA history. Not the NBA season. History, people. So, I just don't understand, this injustice against Rayford Trae Young Jr. I just don't understand it. This man is incredible. Okay? Absolutely incredible. And this is right here was the things he get. Yeah, he's top 5, but he should be ahead of Jalen Brunson, with all due respect. He should be ahead of Damian Lillard, with all due respect. He should be at least in the top 3. And LaMelo Ball should be down at 5 or maybe even below that. I'm sorry. There's no hating on LaMelo or anything like that. This is just an injustice. There's no way that these guys can be ahead of Trey Young. The things that Trey Young does for his team, the things that Trey Young can facilitate, none of those guys facilitate the ball better than Trey Young. None of those guys are on a consistent basis are putting their teammates in the right places, in the right situations, to be successful. Trey Young should be higher on this list. We have to do our due diligence as a franchise, as some fans, to get somebody like this man into the All-Star game on a consistent basis. Oh, guys, it just I didn't mean to rant, okay? I really didn't mean to rant on here and there, but there's just an injustice going on against Trey Young. Unjust treatment over and over again, season in, season out. Kendrick Perkins has said it himself that Trey Young is one of the most disrespected, if not the most disrespected NBA star in the league, okay? This injustice must stop. This unjust behavior must stop. And I'm going to keep on banging the gavel, keep on banging the drum for Trey Young to be not only an all-star, but an all-star starter. I'm Chris Tip Moore. This has been Hawks Digest. Until next time, peace and blessings to you all. And I'll be right back at y'all. It's all about the logo, baby. It's all about the logo.